Hello and welcome to our chapter review for One Piece 1106, titled On Your Side. So, this is going to be a very interesting chapter, I'm thinking, going in because there was a lot of setup in the last chapter. We're in the middle of a Buster call. Saturn and oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Not Aokiji. I want to say Aokiji, but it's not Aokiji. It's Kizaru. Saturn and Kizaru are staying on the island. The Straw Hats are trying to escape. It's not working out so far. Luffy is waking up and getting his energy back. He's eaten, and now he's just finishing digesting the food and is probably going to be taking action soon. We still have mysterious people on the way to the island. We might have a sort of post battle or post Buster Call sort of situation where those people arrive, or they might arrive in the middle of this climax. So there's a lot of interesting things culminating in this event. So without any further ado, let's hop in. We've got a nice cover page here. Cover request by Abba. Robin dresses a crocodile in a cute getup. They've got Robin and a crocodile who's kind of dressed up like a surfer. He's got on sunglasses and a scarf and a shirt with a crocodile on it that says La Costa. It's very nice. Sort of beach seaside art page. Notes from Oda. I got a Robus and Optimus Prime figure. You can use your voice to make it transform itself. I've seen that figure. It's actually really awesome. I guess Oda's into Transformers, which is pretty based. Okay. Okay, first panel here. They're really going at it. It's just like the newspaper said. Is the approaching ship friend or foe? So we've got the ship. Got a scene of the ship sailing towards Egghead. And are they... I assume these voices are people on the ship talking? They're really going at it. It's just like the newspaper said. So whoever's on this ship read the newspaper. So they saw what was going on Egghead in the newspapers. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Oh, we've got Luffy. Ah, whoa. Yep, Luffy's digested his food. And his belly is shrunk down to normal size. What the? He already digested all that food? He may gobble us up if we get any closer. Is he even human? So we've got the marine soldiers that are surrounding Luffy, reacting to him, digesting all the food. An explosion. Boom. Hey, look out! Cough, cough. Not good. We're surrounded by flames. We can't stay on the island much longer. Pull it together. Don't worry about him being an emperor. Let's get him into sea stone cuffs on a count of 3. And Luffy's already transformed back into Gear 5th. While the Marines are talking about the explosion surrounding them, and getting Luffy off the island. Three, two, one. Boom. Arg! Get on the ships. Egghead is done for. Now we've got a shot of the Marine ships outside of Egghead, still taking in soldiers and trying to get away from the island. And the Buster Call ships opening fire on the island. Keep blasting into the inferno. Don't stop. Bang, bang. Kuma, Bonnie. Uh-oh. So here we've got Kuma and Bonnie falling down and the Marines about to open fire on them. Vegapunk looking on. Come in, Atlas. And now we've got Saturn. Shoot down this pathetic family. And the Pacifista are readying their lasers. Atlas, let Bonnie know. Bonnie-chan, understood, Stella. And then we've got a scene of Atlas saying something to Bonnie. We don't hear what Atlas is telling Bonnie, but Bonnie is shocked by this information. She has a shocked expression on her face. We've got a close-up of her eye. So I don't quite understand. And Sanji is trying to approach. We've got him using Skywalk, trying to get close to them and protect them. Please, or Daddy, please don't shoot. Help us escape alive instead. Did you hear her shout just now? Can't hear a thing over these explosions. So the Marines are looking. Didn't hear Bonnie, but the Pacifista heard. And the Pacifista have stopped aiming at Bonnie and Kuma, and they have turned to open fire on the Marines. Why are they aiming at us? Ah! Boom, kaboom. Yeah, the Pacifista have gone rogue. Okay, so Vegapunk did do something to the Pacifista. He made it so that they would listen to Bonnie. Now, how did Saturn miss this? Perhaps Saturn was only overseeing to make sure that Vegapunk didn't do anything with Kuma himself, but since Kuma is already dead, now, after being transformed into a Pacifista, Saturn stopped overseeing Vegapunk so closely, so Vegapunk was allowed to sneak Bonnie into the command hierarchy. Or, let's see, what's the command hierarchy? The command at the top of the command hierarchy for the Pacifista, or Seraphim and the Pacifista. I'm trying to think. Did that command hierarchy apply to the Pacifista Mark III as well as the Seraphim, or was that just for the Seraphim? Because if it applied to all Marine cyborg weapons, human weapons, then it would apply to the Pacifista Mark III. In which case, the highest are not the Celestial Dragons, but the Elders. I was going to suggest that maybe since Bonnie is the daughter of a Celestial Dragon, she has that authority, but the weapons are only programmed to obey the Elders, I believe. The 5 Elders. Specifically, not all Celestial Dragons. So that leaves the option that Vegapunk programmed them specifically to obey Bonnie. Because Saturn must have stopped watching over Vegapunk's shoulder at some point that allowed Vegapunk to do this. That, or maybe Vegapunk invented some new technology that even Saturn wouldn't be able to make heads or tails of, and that allowed him to sneak in this order that allows him to obey Bonnie's command. But either way, this is something that I've been speculating about since all the way back, even before Kuma's flashback. Did Vegapunk leave some kind of backdoor in there? So Saturn blocked Vegapunk, so he couldn't leave a backdoor in Kuma himself, but Saturn must have gotten lax and wasn't as strict with overseeing the Pacifistas. So Vegapunk put a backdoor into the pacifistas themselves rather than Kuma. So that is smart. Saturn underestimated Vegapunk. Okay, so back to reading. Next panel. Marine soldiers didn't hear Bonnie give the command. The pacifista turned on the Marine soldiers. The pacifists have gone rogue. Ah! And now we get to hear what Atlas said. Bonnie, it will prioritize your orders above all else, even commands from the world's overseers. It doesn't matter if the entire planet is against you. By your dear father, the image... It doesn't matter if the entire planet is against you. By your dear father. Oh, the image of you being killed by your dear father. That keeps me up at night. Bonnie, there's one thing. I couldn't stomach such a tragedy. The idea of your precious daughter dying by your hands. And Kuma. There are... The idea of your precious daughter being dying by your hands, I couldn't stomach such a tragedy, and that's the reason why I made sure that each and every clone showing your appearance will be programmed to obey her. Kuma will always be on your side. That was the selfish liberty I took, and I knew it will have secret consequences. Oh. Okay. This wasn't us hearing what Atlas told Bonnie. This is us hearing Vegapunk thinking as he's watching this all go on. The pacifista turning on the Marines. Vegapunk remembers Bonnie and Kuma. Saturn reacts as soon as he sees what's going on. Okay. Bonnie, they will prioritize your orders above all else, even commands from the world's overseers. It doesn't matter if the entire planet's against you. Bonnie, there's one thing that keeps me up at night. The image of you being killed by your dear father. And Kuma, the idea of your precious daughter dying by your hands. I couldn't stomach such a tragedy. That is the reason I made sure that each and every clone showing your appearance would be programmed to obey her. Kuma will always be on your side. That was the one selfish liberty I took, and I knew this secret would have consequences. And we've got a panel of Saturn stabbing through Vegapunk with his claw. Looks like it might have been Vegapunk's heart. Or he might have missed the heart, but it looks like he was aiming for the heart either way. So Saturn responded very quickly. He immediately surmised that that Vegapunk had done something with the pacifistas and attacked him. A betrayal of this magnitude. Splatter. And Bonnie screams, Vegapunk! Would be met with no mercy. And Vegapunk falls to the ground. Frankie reacts, damn it, Vegapunk! Damn it. Kizaru, eliminate them and be quick about it. So Saturn gives that order. Kizaru immediately turns to light and goes on the offense. He's firing lasers at them. Sanji has arrived. He's blocking some of the lasers, but a lot of them are hitting Kuma. None of them have hit Bonnie. It looks like one might have hit Frankie, and one looks like one hit Atlas too. And yeah, we've got some reactions. Everyone's bleeding from the laser shots. Kizaru is closing in. He's got his lights blade. I'll make sure to get you both in one slash so you can be together. It won't hurt a bit, Bonnie. Kizaru. That's Luffy laughing. Kizaru is startled. And kapow, we've got a giant stretching fist coated with armament haki. Kapow hits Kizaru and knocks him down into a building. And the drums are playing. Dun, dun, dun. Let's have some fun. Is everyone okay? Sanji. Yeah, whoa. Everyone lands on the ground. Kizaru gets up from the rubble. Saturn is shocked. Somebody stop the pacifista. Who cares about that now? Is it me or is the island shaking? Yeah. After that snack, I'm at full power. What the? Was that Straw Hat? Says Bonnie. Now I've got another fist winding up. Yeah. Done. And he's in that Nika pose. And Bonnie is watching. I knew it. You haven't connected the dots yet, have you, Bonnie? It was like that with me, too. I had to see it with my own eyes. Straw Hat Luffy, the young boy who caught Kuma's eye, is Sun God Nika. Huh? Kuma was right. Buster Call is a team problem for him. People all over the world have been awaiting his arrival for hundreds of years. Okay, so Vegapunk is confirming that Sun God Nika would be strong enough to repel a Buster Call. Repel, survive, defuse a Buster Call. Okay, Vegapunk passes out. Vegapunk! Bonnie is trying to wake him up. We gotta go, we'll die if we stay here. And now we're back to the robot. Krieg. The robot is once again activated and seems to be trying to get up. And now Bonnie's remembering when her and Kuma were doing the Nika dance. Nika, that's right. I've always looked up to him. They say Nika would come along laughing to this rhythm. That rhythm. Don't they know some things in this world can't be stopped? Why? They're actually asking why, Dory? Dory and Broggy? Shanks? Wait, Shanks? No. Could it... Now I'm trying to think. Were Dory and Broggy actually on Shanks' crew, or were they just on Elbaf? I thought they were just on Elbaf, so it could be the case that they're just coming as warriors of Elbaf, but I thought they were part of Shanks' crew. Or maybe at least strongly allied with Shanks' crew, in which case, if they're here, then Shanks is here. They're sailing with Shanks, and Shanks is on the island, or about to be on the island. Shanks is approaching? Everyone expected it was probably going to be Blackbeard, resulting in a two Yonko situation, which is definitely something that the world government wants to avoid at all costs, dealing with two Yonko at once. But Shanks? Shanks would only come to the island to protect Luffy. Right? You think about reasons Shanks would want to go to the Egghead, would be invested in the Egghead incident, aside from protecting Luffy. Okay, we know Blackbeard is up to something on Egghead. Shanks wants to stop Blackbeard, or at least warn people about the dangers of Blackbeard. He tried to warn Whitebeard, but he fought with Blackbeard. He definitely wants to stop Blackbeard from achieving what Blackbeard wants to achieve. So Shanks could be on the island to stop Blackbeard from doing whatever he's trying to do. But but it's not Blackbeard himself. It's probably some crew members that are on the island. So, this is really interesting. This is a twist not expected. But Shanks has been really, really, really active lately, so it's just gonna take some getting used to Shanks being really active in the story from this point on. But if that's Shanks here on the island, that is definitely gonna provide Straw Hats ample opportunity to escape the island intact. Also, the Buster Call is completely nullified with two Yonko active here, with Luffy being the sun god Nika and Shanks probably being the strongest Yonko alive at this point. So those two forces pretty much nullified the Buster Call. That's Buster Call done. Why Shanks is here? It's either Luffy or Blackbeard is what I'm thinking. So, okay. Let's read. Next panel, or page. They're coming right for us. Fire! Damn it, why are you giants here? Why? They're actually asking why, Dory. They don't know some things in this world can't be stopped. Yeah, we've come to pick up Straw Hat. It's an emergency. It's an emergency. The giant pirates are here. Yeah. Or should we call him the Sun God? Okay, so it is the giant pirates that are here, as I was speculating. So that means this is going to lead right into Elbaf. Dory and Broggy come to pick up Luffy and the Straw Hats and escort them to Elbaf is what I'm thinking is the course this is going to take now. Oops, I missed the panels over here. So let me read this in the proper order. Northeast coast of Egghead. This is a Northeastern unit. Come in. We made contact with an insanely big ship. We've got the giant pirate ship here. I thought they died 100 years ago, but there's no doubt it's them. Why aren't they stopping? What the heck are they even doing here? We're gonna crash. So the giant pirate ship is ramming right through the marine ships. We've come to pick up Straw Hat. It's an emergency. The giant pirates are here. Yeah. Or should we call him the Sun God? Interesting. And, of course, it's break next week, so it's not Shanks. Perhaps. No. Shanks wouldn't even have to tell them. So, the order of events is probably after the whole thing with Kid, Shanks sailed off. Dory and Broggy saw the newspaper, saw what was happening on Egghead, and decided to come pick up Luffy. Okay, that makes sense. So it's not Shanks, but even just being Dory and Broggy, that's enough to basically end the Buster Call here. So the Buster Call is done. Straw Hat's now going to have safe passage off Egghead and towards Elbaf, ideally. And since it's Dory and Broggy, they might give an update to Luffy on what happened to Kid and the current status of Shanks. Also, this is really good because the Giants have their god, Elbaf, the warrior god. So perhaps they have knowledge of Nika. There has been speculation that perhaps the war god Elbaf is real in the way that Nika was real. And perhaps there may be a devil fruit or something related to that. And either way, if there is or isn't a devil fruit, the Giants might have some knowledge with their ancient history and their knowledge of gods, assuming gods other than Elbaf. So they might have some information about the sun god. So Vegapunk is not dead yet. He's injured. He's going to need treatment. So I don't think Vegapunk is going to die this arc. And Kuma's not dead either. Also, with the Giants here, it looks like Kuma won't end up having to sacrifice himself to teleport the Straw Hats off the island. This is the northeast coast of Egghead, so the Giants will still have to travel at least a little bit of a ways to get to the Straw Hats, which leaves a little bit of time for Luffy to perhaps clash and or fight with Saturn at this date. If Luffy sees that Vegapunk was attacked by Saturn, he probably won't be that happy. Then we've got the robot activating. Don't know what that is going to do. So, rising towards the climax, totally unexpected for the Giants to be here. But it makes sense that they would. They are friends of the Straw Hats. And in essence, they are kind of a proxy, a soft proxy for Shanks in this situation, since they are friends with Shanks, and will probably give information about Shanks. I don't know if they know anything about Blackbeard. Also, that still leaves Blackbeard free to, or I should say the Blackbeard Pirates, free to get up to whatever it is they're planning to be up to on this island. It's still not becoming really clear what the Blackbeard Pirates could be up to on the island. This might just be a very similar situation to Marineford, where only after the initial dust has settled, then the Blackbeard Pirates show up and do whatever it is they're planning to do. That might be the case here. So we have a break next week. This is a pretty big chapter. One thing that was kind of expected was that Vegapunk did something with the Pacifista. Because you know it from the very first moment they mentioned a hierarchy, an obedience command structure. The first thought everyone had was that Vegapunk probably put a back door in there somewhere. Saturn kind of tampered that idea, that line of thinking, when he revealed that he totally oversaw Vegapunk making every modification to Kuma, so he knew he would know if he did anything funny with Kuma. But Saturn never mentioned the rest of the Pacifista. So Vegapunk snuck in the back door on the rest of the Pacifista, just not Kuma himself. Because Saturn wasn't overlooking that development. It could be assumed that Saturn wasn't overlooking that development. And that's how Vegapunk was able to sneak a back door in for the Pacifista. So now the Pacifista are on Bonnie's side, on the Straw Hat side. So they have the Pacifista. That's more than enough to keep the Marine soldiers at bay, especially since they have to get off the island anyway if they don't want to get swept up in the Buster Call. Luffy, can he take on Kizaru and Saturn? Or will he just fight Saturn? thinking of Saturn, he will probably have Kizaru attack Luffy first. And then if Kizaru fails, Saturn would step in. So that's probably where things are going. The Giants will probably take at least one chapter, maybe more, to arrive to where the Straw Hats are fighting. But this is a pretty big incident. It does seem to be growing in size. I guess the giant pirates have now revealed themselves to the world as still being around. Because the Marines say that they thought they died 100 years ago. Because they spent all that time on Little Garden in the East Blue, or not East Blue, in the Grand Line, the early half paradise of the Grand Line. So it makes sense. 100 years in paradise on a very remote island that not many people knew about. But the world government basically would just assume that the giant pirates had died out, that Dorian Broggie are no longer a threat. Now the Dorian Broggie are known. It's known that the giant pirates exist. That's going to be an incident. They're probably going to update their bounties / reactivate their bounties. The giant pirates are active again there, and they haven't announced it, but they're definitely allied with the Straw Hat Pirates. Will they count as part of the Straw Hat Alliance? Probably not. Not officially, but they are friends of Straw Hats, the Straw Hat Pirates. Now, will the giant pirates being present here tip the world government off that the Straw Hats' next destination will be Elbaf? But even if the world government knows that the Straw Hats' next destination is Elbaf, it should be a Wano type situation where the world government really can't do anything. Because I'm thinking, yeah, as I understand it, I don't think the Elbaf is an allied nation with the world government, so the world government has no presence there, no right to be there. And because the giants are such a strong race, they're the strongest race in the world, it's a situation like Wano, where the world government can't just come rolling through there because everyone is strong enough to repel them. So the Straw Hats will probably be safe from the world government on Wano. Or, excuse me, probably be safe from the world government on Elbaf. Maybe. Unless, again, similar to Wano, they have spies operating on Elbaf, but that would be kind of hard to accomplish because, as far as I know, the only giants allied with the world government so far, the only giants that are in the world government so far have been shown to be Marines. Were they vice captains or captains? And we don't know how many regular sized people live on Elbaf, if it's all giants or if there are any regular sized people living on Elbaf. So far, all we've seen are giants, so it would be a safe assumption that it's all giants on Elbaf. So any normal sized people would be something that stands out in Elbaf. But this is opening up all the speculation for Elbaf. It does confirm, all but confirm, Elbaf is the next saga, which is good. The long-awaited Elbaf. Be very exciting to get there. It also paints a little bit of a clearer picture on how the Straw Hats are ultimately going to get off of Egghead safely. It kind of lessens the odds that Kuma is going to die here, which is good. I don't want Kuma to die here, so I'm okay with that. Vegapunk is injured. I don't think it's critically. He's probably going to survive too. Perhaps Kuma and Vegapunk can stay on Elbaf. That's a place where it would be well protected from the world government. Let's see. Because we're trying to turn to what happens to Vegapunk post Egghead. I don't think it'll be a situation where he sails with the Straw Hats for an extended period across multiple islands and sagas, because what will Vegapunk be heading towards? I don't believe there was a goal in mind. Vegapunk just wanted to escape the world government, not be killed by them. So, assuming that he does escape and he's free from the world government, he really has no goal. So, what he would need is to find a place where he can settle down, think, and start planning, because Vegapunk what he would probably want to do is find a new place to establish another lab, another Egghead, and continue whatever research he was working on for the betterment of humanity. And that's a goal that he doesn't really need to sail with the Straw Hats to accomplish. He just needs to find a safe place, have the Straw Hats escort him to a safe place, and then plan his own next steps from there. So Elbaf could be that staging ground in terms of Vegapunk. A safe place after escaping Egghead, where he can hide out from the world government and they can't attack him, even if they know he's there. He can plan, start working on new inventions, a new lab. He could maybe even work on reversing what happened to Kuma, even though it seemed to be irreversible entirely. But maybe he can do something for Kuma. And Elbaf is 100%. It absolutely has to be lore heavy. Absolutely has to be lore heavy, relating to the Void Century, A, B, the Sun God, and let's see, what, the Void Century, Sun God, and maybe maybe Devil Fruits, the origin of Devil Fruits, possibly could be related to Elbaf. Those three things. especially since Vegapunk is going to be there. Once all this fighting is over and Vegapunk is safe, he might have a chance to explain things like explain more about devil fruits, A, explain more about Nika, B, and he can confirm what he has learned about the sun god with what the giants already know about the sun god. So that's definitely going to be a lore point in the next saga. The origin of devil fruits, that could come into play, especially since there are still a few minor questions about Bonnie's devil fruit power and how it works. That could be something that Vegapunk touches on. So, question. A Buster Call being what government calls a Buster Call, that is a global incident, basically. A big world-changing incident. And that Buster Call being repelled, diffused, is also a global level incident. But I still think that they're still setting up for a really big climax that will kind of put the period on this Egghead incident and why it is referred to as the Egghead incident. So, I should wrap up things here. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and comment and subscribe. Consider supporting me on Patreon so I can continue making content like this. And I will catch you all in the next video. See you then.